Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
It is Thursday, and all of our guests today, including Farhan, busiest man in rock and roll, standing by. Brought to you by the Vancouver Giants. I just turned into David Pratt there for a second. Vancouver Giants season ticket packages now on sale. All season ticket packages now include access to WHL Live, so you never miss a game, as well as the first 2 home playoff games plus flexible payment plans available with no additional cost. For more info, email sales@vancouvergiants.com or call 604-4-GIANTS. Just before we get to Farhan Lalji, this is from Dwight. Delaney's OK Tire and Langley inbox, and I couldn't agree more. I'm so happy with the Canucks result in Game 1 with the Oilers. I can even forgive Ryan for dumping on Daryl Sittler last night. For people who didn't watch our playoff postgame show last night, we compared Connor Garland's winning goal last night, to what Daryl Sittler was up to back in 1976 against Vladimir Zarilla and the Czechs, the winning goal for Team Canada in that tournament. And Ryan, who was 40 years from being born, disagreed and had a problem with me bringing up a Leaf, even though he was representing Canada at the time. I could go on, but we got to get to Farhan Lalji from TSN. How are you, sir?
I'm good. I don't even think I remember that 1976 play,
please.
But I was quite young.
Please, come on.
Hey, you know what? We saw the Tom Brady roast the other day. What if we had a David Pratt roast? Because I would imagine the three of us have some good stories.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, I got some dandies.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Got to get Dave back on the show one of these days.
A good man, we're not being critical. We love him, but we could have some
character.
Stories. It could be a good roast.
He was a character.
Yeah,
he was fun and really interesting to work with, and you and I worked with him a lot. Hey, what allows this group, and I keep using this word, and so does Rick Tocchet, but Farhan, last night down 4-1, playoff game in the second period, they end up winning, didn't have to go to overtime. What allows this group to be so resilient?
It's a great question, because when you look at the scars this team has had in the last 4 or 5 years, there's nothing there that would lend you to believe that this is possible, right? The mind shift in this team is incredible. And when you talked about it after the game, that Tocchet has basically gotten rid of some of the stink in the room. The belief he's instilled in these guys, we see what the visible moments are in terms of just their structure defensively, but also how they play even when they get down. But just the mindset of it, and the thing that to me that I've been so impressed with, and whether it was Game 1 or Game 4 against Nashville or the game last night, is they don't get desperate, right? They stay within their systems. They bear down, but you don't all of a sudden see them cheating for offense, pinching more than they need to. They're as patient as possible. Certainly if you get into a situation in the last 3 minutes, that's going to change when you got to pull your goalie or what have you. But until that, they just don't play desperate. They still are so consistent with their approach. So it's not just a hockey structure piece, but what Rick Tocchet has done with their minds is Coach of the Year worthy.
Oh, yeah, and Rick, you talked about that a lot last night and the last week or so as well. Are we talking enough, Farhan? Because offense is sexy. People tend to talk about offense all the time, whether it's going well or not. But are we talking enough about the Canucks team defense? You touched on it there. They are leading the all remaining NHL playoff teams in shots against per game. Do we talk enough about their defense?
Well, I think we've tried to, right? I mean, they've been, when you look at some of those defensive metrics, right? I mean, scoring chances against, expected goals against, shots allowed, all of those types of things, chances off the rush, they're either leading the league or we're in the top 3 in the league in the last, from March 1st on. So what we're seeing in the playoffs is just a continuation of that. And look, there's no way to avoid talking about what isn't happening with selected players offensively, because we all kind of believe at some point, especially when you play a high-flying team like Edmonton, that you're going to need more and you can't live in that world. But the fact is, the reason this team's been able to win playoff games with 3 different goaltenders is not a testament to their goaltending depth. It's a testament to their team defense, right? And so if you're not seeing that, and I think Canuck fans have gotten proud of it, to be quite honest, right? Because when like we're used to, when this team's had success, seeing the Sedins and seeing what teams do offensively, but I think the way this team is playing defense without having to play a boring trap system, I think is pretty cool.
Hey, Farhan, let's go to football. And Nathan Rourke picked up on waivers by the New York Giants. 3rd team in a year, hasn't played it down. I know you're painting everything as roses, but at some point, he's got to play. And this is year 2 down there, and still looking for to play it down.
Yeah, you're right, Rick, because if he doesn't get to play this year, right, like every year you go through this, it's like a car. You take it off the lot, and it depreciates. Right? Yeah, you draft somebody, immediately it depreciates, and it's like this here, right? So if Nathan had a little bit of buzz coming out of the CFL after half a season, it probably has gone down in the last 12 months and will continue to go down if he doesn't actually get to play. So I think this is actually, compared to the other 2 places he's been, I think it's the best of the 3 situations thus far. Because with Daniel Jones, yeah, he's getting $35 million, but the team's only on the hook for 1 more year. And obviously they don't have a tremendous belief in him, or, you wouldn't have all the noise you had about them potentially drafting a guy at the number 6 spot, right? So they're going to just kind of take a wait-and-see approach this year. And then Drew Lock, you brought him in to be the backup, and 1 year, $5 million. So there's not a big commitment there. And Tommy DeVito, if they felt he was the guy to be the backup, they probably don't go out and get Drew Lock, right? So I think Nathan's first order of business is to compete and win that number 3 job. But I think if, Jones has had injuries, he might be injured to start coming off the ACL. Like, there may be a window there for him to get more preseason run and, be in a situation where next year he can actually get on the field at some point in the season. So, first things first, get past DeVito. But if he can do that, this might be the one chance. And again, like, Rick, we're on the same page. He's got to play this year, because after that, it's going to go away.
Yeah, it is. All right, the BC Lions are in Kamloops rookie camp this weekend, so let's get your Grey Cup prediction. I don't know why I'm asking you.
Stop
Hey, it's going to be the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Did you ask that last week?
Hey, everybody knows your love affair with Winnipeg. It's ridiculous. But anyways, the Lions. No, it's not funny, Farhan. You know.
It is.
No, it is not funny, Don. You're a Vancouver guy, and all you do is. And I know why you're picking Winnipeg. You got your sources. They feed you information. I'm not stupid. So, anyways, what are the Lions' chances of being in the Grey Cup game at home?
I think they're high. But they got to win the division. If they cannot win the division, they are not going to Winnipeg to win. We've seen that for 2 years, and that is not changing. So I'm curious to see what Winnipeg looks like without Jamarcus Hardrick and some other pieces. But, from the Lions' perspective, I was really excited that they were able to get Christian Covington signed, right? And I think he can help fill the void lost by Matthew Betts. Slightly different position, but he can affect the ratio the same way. And if he can play at the top of his game and draw some double teams, he's going to make whoever is playing on the edge look good. So, I think they've got a chance to do some things. The big question for me for the Lions going into training camp is what their receivers are going to look like. Because, you lose Dom Rhymes, you lose Lucky Whitehead. Both of them only kind of played half a season last year, right, with their injuries. But then you lose Keon Hatcher for probably half a season. So, can Travis Fulgham and some of these other guys step in to bigger roles? Alex Hollins is going to be the number 1 guy. Can he live up to that, right? So I want to see what the receiving core looks like, and hopefully with Stanback, they can lean on the run game a little bit more so they're not so one-dimensional, right, and can still be as effective offensively. But if they can do that and, just keep things steady until Hatcher gets back, I think they've got as good a chance as any, but it's critical. The West Final has to be in Vancouver.
And before we let you go, Farhan, Canadian Football Hall of Fame, class of 2024, Marvin Coleman, Weston Dressler, Vince Goldsmith, S.J. Green, Ray Yauch, Ed Laverty, and Chad Owens. Just your thought on that class going into the Canadian Football Hall of Fame this year.
A very good class. You know, the receivers especially, you know, that diving catch from S.J. Green was spectacular. It's one of the best catches I've ever seen. And Chad Owens, the flying Hawaiian, you know. And, you know, I got to know Chad really well when I went to Hawaii to watch, to cover his MMA fight, you know. So we were, you know, close following that. And so it's a great, great class. And Steve Daniel. Don't forget Steve Daniel.
Our friend Steve Daniel from back in the days with the Grizzlies, working for the CFL. Did we miss anybody, Farhan?
No, we didn't miss anyone.
Hey, in all seriousness, congratulations, my friend. And for people who don't know, Farhan is going into the Canadian Football Hall of Fame, and rightfully so. Your reaction to that honor, big guy?
I would like Rick to do the induction speech.
Not happening.
What do you think?
Hey, get somebody from Winnipeg to do it.
Yeah.
Rick, come on.
Get somebody from Winnipeg, your favorite team.
All right. I'll call Bob Irving. I'll see if he can do it. But listen, it's a very, very, very big honor. It means a lot to me. I was totally not expecting it. These things happen when you get a little older. So for it to happen now was completely out of left field. But when you look at the people in it on the media side, just to be named, you know, alongside guys like J.P. McConnell, who you and I, all three of us know and love, and you know, and so many others that are in the hall. It's pretty cool to just, you know, Chris Schultz, my colleague at TSN, my late colleague, to be associated with those guys in that way is very, very meaningful to me.
All right, Farhan, congratulations, and start working on that Dave Pratt celebrity roast. Yeah. Get back to me on that.
And I'm still going to work you, Rick. You're going to do my induction speech.
And not happening. Not happening.
Okay.
But congratulations. Congratulations.
All right. Thanks, Farhan. Appreciate it.